Homer, Los Angeles. You're on the Wilkow Majority. Hello.
Hey, Andy, before I get to my point, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you prefer when a Republican president is in office, or do you prefer when a Democrat president is in office for your topics for your radio show?
Do I prefer? I don't have a preference. I mean, I'm going to do a radio show no matter who's in office.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, generally speaking, if you're a liberal and you have a liberal talk show and there's a liberal president, you're probably going to be on his or her side, I should say. And if you're a conservative, you're going to be against.
Well, that depends if you're president. When George Bush started talking about immigration, I was wholly opposed to it. I don't care that George Bush was a Republican. Just because somebody's a Republican doesn't mean they get a free pass on this program, or I'm always going to defend them.
So there's no preference to you?
Well, as a voter, I would prefer to have a conservative president. I think what you're asking me is what's better for my business.
No, I think your business is going to be good either way. I'm just wondering what you like.
No, I've said it clearly that Obama's been very good for my business.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you, because the people there's always going to be a core constituency for conservative media, but as a liberal president makes more and more people frustrated, those people are going to start looking for voices of opposition. So, in essence, what's bad for the country is good for my radio show. I've explained that, and it's always been my heart versus my head. It's something I don't really like.
Okay. No, it makes perfect sense. I was just curious.
And for the record, I did music radio before I did this. If it meant having to rethink my career to have a more conservative government, there are other things that I'm capable of doing.
I don't question that. You're very good at what you do. I'm curious to hear your opinion on that.
I'll tell you this. I'll give you this one. It breaks my heart when a Republican president doesn't act like a conservative, because I'm not going to defend that. Because here, I did not endorse anyone during the primaries, but given the choices, I was going to vote for Mitt Romney. I didn't tell anyone who to vote for on this program, but I was going to vote for Mitt Romney. I made it pretty clear. And as Mitt Romney stumbled on some things, it was kind of like, dude, you got to do something here. I mean, and again, I admit that the wisdom was that with the kind of unemployment that we had, that based on the historical numbers, it didn't look like Barack Obama was going to get reelected. And even Mitt Romney said in a recent interview, he thought he was going to win until he saw Florida.
Right. All right. I'm listening to that. I was just curious about that, but back to my conversation. I'm listening to you compare Venezuela to this country, or compare Chavez to Obama. And to me, it just sounds like this is Alex Jones theory. It's just absolute madness.
Okay, I don't do conspiracy theory radio. I don't. I run from conspiracy theory radio. And, a lot of people are, look, I don't want to reference anybody else's radio program on here, because then it becomes I'm not into the game of the radio, feuds. I don't. If somebody picks one with me, I'll put them in their place, but I don't pick them on this program. So let's just not get into other people's radio shows.
Okay, then forget I said his name. But I mean, look, as a liberal, I try and look at things as rational as possible. And to give you an example, I was listening to Mark Thompson's show the other day, and someone called and said it's Obama's fault about the deficit. And Mark said, no, it's Bush's fault. And the guy said, you're telling me after 4 years that, it's still Bush's fault? And Mark said, yes. I disagree 100%. Obama is...
It's big government. It doesn't matter if Bush came in and gave us all a tax rate reduction that we were initially happy with and then continue to sign off on the spending. Big government is the problem. It doesn't matter if that big government has a Republican face or a Democrat face. Big government is the problem.
Okay, the bottom line is, in my personal opinion, if you're a manager of a baseball team and you come up bad players, eventually it's your team. You have to take responsibility. So Obama has to take responsibility of the debt, which I believe he has. Using that.
What is he taking responsibility? What do you mean taking responsibility? He wants more. The stimulus package did not do what he said it was going to do. Did not. Now he wants another $50 billion to have another mini stimulus package as if the little version of the big thing is going to do something different.
Well, I disagree. And a lot of Republicans, including the vice presidential candidate, pushed a stimulus. So I don't necessarily agree with that. But I want to talk
What do you mean? What do you mean you don't agree? Keynesian economics, the idea that the federal government is going to stimulate the economy through government spending. If I'm wrong about that, then the unemployment rate should have gone down, not up.
It has gone down.
No, it hasn't. No, sir. No. It started at 7.8% when Barack Obama was going towards 7.8%. He promised it would not go above 8 with the stimulus package. It went to 8.2, receded to 7.8, returned to 7.9. Now it's at 7.7. It has never been below 7% under this president.
It takes time. You can't.
How many years, sir?
Stimulus.
No, that's nonsense. That's nonsense. That's nonsense.
I'm not a fortune teller, and neither are you.
It's not about fortune telling. The more the government consumes from the private sector, the less the private sector is going to grow, unless you want everybody working for government.
Well, we'll agree to disagree.
No, we're not agreeing to disagree. It's a wrong view. It's a wrong view. I'll give you one. Then if I'll help you create jobs. You ready for this?
Okay.
We are not going to let people move their own furniture anymore. It's too heavy. It's dangerous. Those trucks, I mean, the average person isn't qualified to drive one of those big trucks, so nobody's going to be allowed to move their own furniture anymore. You're going to have to hire licensed, union, professional movers and drivers. There, you've just created some jobs. I got another one for you. We're not going to hire 100 people to do a job. We're going to say, well, look, you want to build a road? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to cut all those shovels down by 2/3. So instead of 100 people digging a ditch, we're going to have 300 people digging a ditch. And we're going to make the shovels out of recyclable plastic with a shelf life or a work life of about 3 months. So that means every 3 months, the 300 shovels have to be picked up by a licensed union truck driver, brought to a licensed union recycling plant, melted down, turned into raw materials, sent to a licensed union shovel producer who remakes the shovels and then redistributes them back on the line to be used. There, I've created jobs.
Do you have an agent that does your negotiating for you?
What the hell's the difference?
The difference is people that are in business to say, I've done this, I've done that, a lot of them have agents that negotiate the best deal.
Yeah, but see, they aren't forced to have those people negotiate for them. Nobody can vote them into those contracts. A contract is between two willing parties. Democracy does not exist in the private sector.
And good luck trying to get
Okay, thank you very much for the call. Have a nice day. How many times do I have to prove somebody wrong before I'm allowed to hang up on them by the progressive standard? If you have somebody representing you in my line of work, you ask them. If you don't like the way they represent you, you fire them and somebody else represents you. Your coworkers don't vote you into an agreement and then say, well, we voted, so now the rest of your time working here, that's the person that represents you and this is how much money you owe. Hey, I got a way for you to create jobs. Just give out bricks, let everybody smash the windows in any given city. Hey, now you'll need glass workers. Frederick Bastiat had a good one. You really want to do this? Let the candle makers unionize to block out the sun. We're right, they're wrong. That's the end of the story. The arguments, and you ever notice, well, before I go to break, Mike, have you noticed this? I'm debating the point being made by the caller, and then something about, well, who represents you? What is that? It's like, can you stay on your own damn topic? Well, yeah, I don't take something from somebody who used to work at a strip club as a DJ. What does that have to do with anything? Break my arguments. Stop asking me questions about my wife or asking me questions about where I went to school or asking me questions what I did here. Break the damn argument or stop wasting my time. Feel free to call any other channel on Sirius XM if you want to waste somebody's time. But where I went to school or what I did before this, or who represents me, does not break the argument. If I say 2 + 2 = 4, and you say, hey, did you used to work at a strip club? The hell, Does 2 plus 2 equal 4? If not, if you're going to tell me I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Stop it with the wasting of the time. Sirius XM Patriot.